Ladies and gentlemen, let's ask ourselves, how does Shenhe C4 work, and exactly what is it that Shenhe brings to the table? So let's just tackle the first one. This Constellation 4 effectively allows you to stack like damage bonus on her E ability when your party members use up their icy quills. You can stack about 50 stacks, and each stack increases that damage by 5%. Now, if you combine this with a C6, then you can build these stacks very quickly and very fast, especially if you use an Ayaka. Now the Ayaka on screen, you'll see, it's got no weapon, no artifacts, and it's the same with the Ganyu. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to just show you what the raw effect is from Shenhe in buffing the team, and hopefully you guys will see me sort of, I'm just going to put this like in air quotes, but running main DPS Shenhe in the Spiral Abyss. And you'll be quite surprised to know that it can to a certain extent be done, but remember, we are not using Ganyu or Ayaka stats. We don't have crit rate, which means we also don't have the crowd damage bonuses, all those beautiful things that can stack with Shenhe's bonus. So we're just going to look at the bonus that she provides, and you'll see exactly how powerful this character is. But before we do like a full Spiral Abyss run, let me just demonstrate how this C4 and C6 works. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Kokomi for comfort here, and let's just freeze all the enemies. So what you'll see now is we hit about a critical hit, about 22k with her E ability, and that is really nice, but of course we can do better. Let's refresh the jellyfish, get an elemental burst, and we're just going to refresh the E there. And now Ganyu's going to build up some Skyfrost Mantra stacks, and of course Ayaka is going to build up, and you can see here, and there we go, 73k. That is very strong indeed, all the way from 22k to 73k. So you can see building stacks is very important, and using Constellation 6 is also very important, because that's just going to help you to build up these stacks very quickly. And yeah, it is very strong, and there is some bit of variation, of course, but if you are one of those people that just built your Shenhe with attack percentage, attack, and you don't have a decent crit rate, and you've got at C4, then you're essentially losing out on a bit of damage, which is a shame. There you can see us getting again a non-critical hit, but it is very good, like 30k damage just by the press of an E and an AoE, very strong. And now we're going to do a bit more damage as well, and let's just wait for it. There you go, 65k, very good. And this is typically how our stacks work. Now with that said, let's do an actual Spiral Abyss run from start to end. Not going to skip out on anything, no skipping, no redos, and let me just show you this exact same team what it is that Shenhe brings to the table. So there we go. Now we're just going to play a bit more aggressively than I did in the showcase, and I'm just going to try and build as many stacks as we can. The enemies are grouped up very nicely. Look at that Ayaka, she's just slapping them, and you'll see right now 82k on Shenhe's E ability, hitting all three enemies. Of course, that's very strong. And you can see here now the effect of her just quickly dashing, and now I'm just going to quickly burn Ayaka's ult. And there we go, Shenhe's ultimate ability, and you can see if she's sticking away for about 13, 8, yeah, it just goes on and on. Very good. And I'm just going to freeze the enemies, just pop a jellyfish, why not? And look at that, 48k, and there's another 10k hitting. It is very strong. So what I want, you can also see my Ayaka is doing like 5, 6, 7, 8k auto attacks, and remember my Ayaka's got a 5% crit rate. She's got no crowd damage bonus. So what my Ayaka is essentially getting is just the Shenhe damage boost, and that is how strong this is. So that's why I'm putting it in air quotes. This is like main DPS Shenhe, because she's effectively doing all the damage, and the other characters are just there for show. Now, of course, since we're going to do an entire Spiral Abyss run, I'm just going to run Team 2 here. And when I recorded this footage, to my absolute shame, I forgot to press Kirchhoff's E and then write in. So please forgive me. My gameplay here is absolutely subpar to what it's usually, but this is just to get the background going. So while this team is busy clearing up, let's talk about Shenhe. I think when you've got a very well built cryo team, Shenhe's ability to boost the damage, because remember she provides base damage that now scales off of your team's or the characters like crit rate, cryo damage bonus, and any resistance drops, and all these things is really, really strong. I actually did a sort of C6 Shenhe video where we cleared these floors in like 10, 15, 20 seconds very, very quickly. And it just shows you that the work that she does, it might not seem like it, but she's actually doing quite a lot in the background, and that you've got to appreciate. Now, one of the things that I have to recognize is the fact that at C0, she's not as strong and as broken as she is at C6. I mean, Shenhe at C6 she feels like a completely different character, particularly with the fact that these ice equals just, you have got like unlimited quota on normal and charge attack, which means she's very strong with Ayaka C6, and of course if you've got a Ganyu at C6, she's also going to be very, very good because you can just like E shoot, and you're going to do it. Oh yeah, my Ayaka is dying there. It's quite sad on screen. But you can see it just slowly. Our Shenhe is just taking away the enemy health. In her own way, she's buffing whatever she can in the terms of elemental burst and stuff. But I want you guys to notice, like, my Ayakan gun, you've got literally zero stats, and we're just getting these guys down in terms of health. And of course, I mean, I've got a C6 Kokomi here. We're not even using her. We're just refreshing the jellyfish all the time. So all of this damage is effectively Shenhe's damage. And this is also a bit of like an unfair showcase as well, because Shenhe thrives off of your main DPS being built well. So if the rest of your team's built well, Shenhe's potential skyrockets. And I think this is what a lot of people miss out. I did make it in a previous video that your accounts in Genshin Impact is going to get stronger, you're going to get better artifacts, and then for your cryo DPS, Shenhe is going to look good. So you might say, well, this is all good and well, but I mean, what am I going to do with my C0 Shenhe? Well, I think the best advice I can give you is be patient with the character, build the character, wait for the rerun, get more constellations, especially her C1 and her C2, which would be very, very nice, and then you can work from there. And I think a lot of people might say, but why do I need to wait for a rerun? Well, consider this from a free-to-play perspective. Do you want all the characters in the game, or as many characters as you can, at C0? Or are you going to realize that at some point it might be better for you to save up Primo Gems and get something more copies of a character? I think Raiden Shogun is a very good case in point. I mean, if you get Raiden Shogun at C2, which is definitely obtainable for free-to-play players or low spenders, definitely. You can get, like, if you got her like at C0 and you've just been saving up, you can very easily do it. Then your account's going to get a very strong boost. And a lot of people might say, oh, but that's not F2P, but it is, because if you can do it as a free-to-play player, even if it takes a year, you can do it. Your account's, like I said, is going to get stronger. So the idea that this, the concept that C6 characters are just for whales and whatever, is a concept that's not going to be relevant in a couple of years' time. And because you can have the opportunity to actually save up for characters. And do think about it seriously. Would you rather get like a strong Ayaka and Ganyu, or are you just going to get a bunch of 5 stars at C0 and then be like, yeah, I'm just going to use Bennett to carry me? I mean, if you get constellations, your team's gonna get stronger, and that's the thing about Shenhe. The stronger your team is, the more value she provides, and even if you can pick her up with a constellation or two, that is going to be like really, really good. So yeah, that is just sort of my opinion on it. I think Shenhe is a character for the long run, and she's definitely a character that's future-proof because she's going to work with all the cryo characters going forward. There's no guarantee that a character like Bennett or Kazuha might work with them. They might scale differently or in different ways, which could invalidate it. There might be content in the game where you don't want to use Bennett because he's just going to unfreeze, or he's going to undo some of the things that you do. But we'll see. I mean, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you are someone that loves cryo characters like me, I love cryo characters. I really, really do. Shenhe is the go-to. But if you're someone that just wants all the characters and you're happy with Kazuha Bennett, well, then you can do it that way. But as you can see on screen now, it's been playing in the background. Shenhe herself does provide us decent damage. Of course, there's a bit of a drop off here because we can't really get the full power because we don't have our other units being scaled up, but nonetheless this is very impressive just for Shenhe, and I hope that this sort of showcase gives you guys a bit of a perspective as to what she actually provides, the little hidden mechanics and all of that. And yeah, that is just what I wanted to show, how the sort of stacking effect works, and also what is like the hidden like damage that she provides over and above what your team can do. Now I know this is a bit of a like a biased sort of showcase, but I think it sort of demonstrates the point, and that's really all that I wanted to do. So with all that done and said, let's see if we can actually beat the clock and get our 9 stars in this abyss, because if we can't, then people are going to say in the comment section, oh my god, you wasted all your money on C6 Shenhe and your teams can't even clear the spiral abyss. So it's all on Eula to get us the 9 stars. It really doesn't matter. It's only like 50 primo gems and I've already cleared it. And there we go. Got my 9 stars. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.